God bless you all. Pastor Carlos, River of Life International. Just wanted to come here and just share my heart with you from a passage from the book of John that's very familiar. It talks about the wedding feast where Jesus ends up going to a wedding in Cana in chapter 2. And they ran out of wine, and his mother comes up to him and says, Jesus, my son, they have just run out of wine. And they ran out of wine because there was a ton of guests. There was a ton of guests. And Jesus responds and says, woman, what does this have to do with me? It's not yet my time. And I want to parallel the story with Elijah when he goes to meet the widow. And the widow is actually asking him to help the situation. And the widow says, my husband has died and he left me this great debt. But you know, man of God, that my husband feared the Lord. He feared the Lord, but now the debtors are going to come and take my 2 sons and enslave them. And it just reminds me of the parallel of a woman that represents the church, the bride of Christ, and also the debtors that will come to enslave what we believe to be the church. And God is telling me that we are running out of our elements. And we have taught, I should say, this gospel concept of being balanced. We've taught this concept of being debt-free, but I come to tell you, God never gave us a promise of being debt-free. He says we shall overflow. And she ran out of oil. She ran out of her elements, and all she had left was a little bit of oil. So he said, the man of God says, I want you to bring me all the jars you have. Bring me all the jars you have. Ask all of your friends. Go everywhere. Ask all your friends. So she did that. She was obedient. Maybe she was obedient without much vision because she only brought a little bit, because eventually that ran out. All the jars ran out, and then the oil stopped flowing. See, when we stop bringing in what God is asking us to bring, we will run out. And in the wedding, they had a great banquet. They invited a ton of guests. And again, they ran out of wine. It's something about running out of oil and running out of wine that God is speaking to the church today. We are running out, and we're running out because we don't have the vision that God intended for us as a church to have. See, he says that we are called to go, therefore, to the whole world and to preach this gospel, this uncompromising gospel, this message of power and hope. See, Christ in us is the hope of glory. We're to go to all these empty vessels, all these empty people that are out in the world, and we are to fill them up with oil and fill them up with wine. But we run out because we don't think long term. Our vision is stagnant, just thinking that enough is enough. We think all we got to do is just get out of debt. And God called us not just to get out of debt, but to overflow, to overflow, to overflow. I want to speak to you today about overflowing. Are you running out of oil? Are you running out of wine? Are you like the 5 unwise virgins who thought they had enough, but because they didn't have the vision of a long-term wait on the Lord, they ran out, and now they want to ask someone else to help them to give and to share their oil? These women says, I'm not going to share my oil. Get your own oil. You know where to find it. And actually, they didn't know where to find it. So they actually left the place of their comfort to go out and to find oil. They knew exactly where to go. You know where to go to get the oil. Are you stuck somewhere where the oil has run out? Are you stuck where the wine has run out? Jesus says, just give me a little bit. Give me whatever you have and watch what I'll do. Be obedient and give me whatever you have. He did a miracle. He fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish. It's amazing that the disciples wanted to send them away. Hey, go over here and go buy some over there. Go home. We don't have enough to feed you. But Jesus says, don't send them away. You give them to eat because I gave you something of authority. You have enough. I come to empower you today. You have enough. You have enough oil. You have enough wine. Don't run out. You know where to get it. It's time for you to move. It's time for you to be obedient. It's time for you to go get the oil. Go get the wine. Be blessed this evening.